Hello, good morning and welcome. It's just after 7 o'clock, so a bit earlier today, and we'll start as ever with the AUD USD. And I'd just like to say thank you to everybody for the likes and the subscriptions, much appreciated. AUD USD, as we can see, we're actually falling here. So the last couple of days, we haven't made the highs of the previous days. I think this is turning round. It might just get up to this resistance up here before it crashes down. We've actually broken through the trend line, but we're still pointing up. We came down to touch this support here, bounced up a little bit, but I'm expecting it to head back down and hopefully through the 50. So we'll watch that later in the week. The AUD JPY. We are expecting the AUD to come down and a bit more strength in the Japanese yen. But we've had a bit of weakness over the last 3 days. And we're just coming up here. I think this here is going to be a support, resistance even. Yeah, by the looks of it. Yeah, basically this is a turning point, resistance, support. So that is the closest really major turning point resistance. So I can't see much further up for this. I think it's going to turn around and come back down. Euro dollar. We've had positions added on both the longs and shorts, and overall the short position for the first time in about three years, we are heavily short on the commercials for the euro dollar. We are seeing this starting to fall away a little bit now, so we're just touching the 50 again on the RSI, and hopefully we'll see it fall down. Euro New Zealand dollar. We've still got another red candle today. I'm quite shocked here. I don't know. I think that's a little bit of weakness in the euro and maybe a little bit of strength in the New Zealand dollar. But it's coming down. It's definitely going to do a full candle to short to close the gap here. Smashing. Euro Japanese yen. A little bit more strength last night. And I mean just a little bit. It is starting to sort of fall back down. That's the hourly chart. Starting to come back down. This is now support at 124.50. But it should come down through that. There we go. The pound Australian dollar still bobbing about on the bottom. It looks like it's trying to push through this support. Hopefully that should hold. So we little bit of strength in the Australian dollar from last night didn't really help. Pound Canadian dollar, basically the same thing. We're down now onto the support. Hopefully that should hold. US dollar, Swiss franc. It's actually on resistance at the moment. There's a little bit of resistance there. It hasn't moved very far. We lost some of the longs and gained some of the shorts. So we are expecting a bit of strength in this. And hopefully with a bit of strength in the dollar later on today, we could see this start climbing, moving over the resistance and start climbing. The USD Japanese yen. We did actually gap up a little bit this morning. Well, not gap up, sort of jump up a little bit from the top of this green candle here at the end of business. When it opened, it did sort of like jump up a little bit. So we're coming up to resistance, and this I feel is yeah, it's like a bit of a turning point historically. So this should be fairly stiff resistance. Hopefully it'll hold and we'll see a move back short. Silver, again, a little bit of a blip. It's popped back up. This should continue on down. I'm expecting this to move down quite a way. In fact, I might actually re-enter it. I really do expect this to go well short. Oil, again, we've got a red candle. We've moved down below support and should move all the way down to the 40 mark. Best perhaps if we just pop a bit of a trend line on it. We're down on the 30.9 on the RSI. If it falls below, it will confirm a long-term downward trend. S&P 500, I think I might have missed this out yesterday. We're on the weekly chart. We've had yet another green candle showing the highs. So this is sort of all-time highs on the S&P 500. We're above the 69.1. We broke through the trend line. This is the trend line on the candle, and then we were going lower on the RSI. So that's divergence. It wasn't all that steep, but to be quite honest, with all the fundamentals and the overbought, I was expecting this to have a little bit of a crash back down. So well, we'll see what happens, but you know, one of those things. Euro, British pound. We're short on this from this resistance up here. It has dropped a little bit. We're expecting this to come back down. 83 is the target, or it's nearly 84. So it's got a long way to fall. We'll see how that goes on. It's a nice trade. It's not a very expensive swap on this. Pound New Zealand dollar, we're expecting strength in the pound, and we expect the dollar to weaken. So we've got two small positions here, nothing to write home about, but you know, first of all, I expect the gap to shut, and then I'm expecting it to come back up to about the 187 mark. There we go. New Zealand dollar, US dollar. We saw the turnaround last week where we had lost on the longs and we actually gained on the shorts, and we can see now that this is flattening off across the top. There again, we've got a nice green candle today, but it isn't making any higher highs, so we are expecting this to actually start to turn around and short back down. USD, Canadian dollar. I have a very small trade in just before it dropped. So anyway, it's come back down onto support, and from here I am expecting it to move up. I think this support here will hold. We've done that one. USD Mexican peso, it's still scratching along the bottom. I'm waiting for this to move a little bit further, and then I'm going to re-enter it. I got out a bit earlier. I'm gutted by this. It has had a long downward movement, so I'm just waiting for it to turn around. Okay, well, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you all tomorrow, hopefully.